Feels good to be back doing these episodes. Yo, what's up, world? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in, and welcome back to another episode of Season 8 of Chicago Bears Weekly. Now, we know the NFL schedules came out on Wednesday, and by the time of this posting of this video, it's going to be a couple of days late of my reaction. But either way it goes, it is time to react to the entirety of the Chicago Bears schedule, and I will give you guys a preference ahead of time. Now, I will not be doing a record prediction in this video. That will be saved for a little bit later, video where that's going to be closer to the regular season. So this will not be me giving my win-loss prediction at this very moment. This will be just me breaking down and going over the entirety of the Chicago Bears 2024 regular season schedule, and I'm not going to make this too much longer. Without further ado, let's dive into it. All right, so we're going to get into week 1 against the Tennessee Titans. They also have a very young football team, and the Bears open up this at home against Will Levis and the Tennessee Titans. Now, they did improve their roster with getting guys like a Calvin Ridley to pair with DeAndre Hopkins. They added Tony Pollard to replace Derrick Henry at their linebacker position, but I'm still not a big believer in this Titans defense. And the Bears, as a unit, are going up against L'Jarius Sneed, even though he's been one of the better corners in the game, especially last year with the Kansas City Chiefs. So they did add him to their defense. So I think they're going to have a little bit of a challenge ahead of them, but they do start off the season. Caleb Williams get his rookie debut at Soldier Field to face the Tennessee Titans. Week 2, they are going up against my boy from the Ohio State University, CJ Stroud, and the Texans on Sunday Night Football, the Bears' first primetime game. It is going to be the one quarterback that we saw last year in CJ Stroud, who had an amazing year, and the quarterback with the expectations of a CJ Stroud. This is going to be a very interesting football game. Two young football teams in a ton of aspects, with the Bears defense having young pieces and offense having young pieces. The Texans having young pieces on both sides of the football. And this is where we can see what the Bears are, because the Bears are coming into expectations to do what the Houston Texans did last season in 2023. So this game is going to be very exciting football game. Two very young quarterbacks, two weapons loaded teams, with the Texans having Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, Nico Collins. They added Joe Mixon. With the Bears, DeAndre Swift, Odunze, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen. This team, I think this could be an offensive game, but I'm going to save the breakdown for my scheduled video. Well, I'm going to save the breakdown for my record prediction. But the Bears back-to-back games on the road, and they're going to take on the Indianapolis Colts. Another matchup with two very young quarterbacks, with Anthony Richardson, who we didn't see much in his rookie year because of the shoulder injury, and he's going up against the Caleb Williams. This is going to be a very interesting game, as well as the Bears get another road test. And the first 3 games start off with the AFC South division. So this is going to be a very strange stretch, because at the end of the day, we're used to them seeing at least maybe 1 or 2 division games in the first few. So for them to have 3 consecutive AFC South games, it's going to be a test to see what they can do against the AFC football team. But next, the Bears are going to come back home to face the Los Angeles Rams, to face Puka Nacua, to face Matthew Stafford, and the Aaron Donald-less Los Angeles Rams defense. Now, this Rams football team was not expected to do much in 2020, really turn things around and made the playoffs. But now we're going to see how this team is going to be, especially on the defensive side of the ball, without the threat of Aaron Donald. And that means a lot less for the Bears as an offensive line to handle. And that as a defense, I think they're still a strong defense, and they can be a very productive offense with Matthew Stafford at the quarterback position. Coming into week 5, the Bears have the Carolina Panthers, DJ Moore's former team, and the Bears beat them last year without Justin Fields at home on Thursday night, and they have them again at home. So DJ Moore, I think with a healthy quarterback, can have his chance to really get his revenge type of a football game. And we still would like to thank the Panthers for the number 1 overall pick. Thank you. Thank you for that. Even though this Panthers team, I think, is going to be a lot improved from what they were in 2023, I still think this Panthers team has a long way to go. And the Bears have the expectations of being a better football team. And thank you again for that pick. And we have their second-round pick next year, too. Week 6 is the big one. The Bears are traveling to London to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Another AFC South opponent, so they get the AFC South out in the first 6 weeks of the NFL season. And the Jacksonville Jaguars are coming off that meltdown that they had in 2023. It's going to be interesting to see where this team is going to be by week 6 of the season. Are they still have some of those jitters? The offense is going to be clicking with the loss of Calvin Ridley. Where's this Jaguars team going to be at this point of the season? And then week 7, after the London game, which is a very smart thing to have the bye week, so you won't have the jet lag going into the next game. You won't have all that. You still have that week to recover from the London trip. So I like this, having a bye week here. Today's video is brought to you by Cellular C4. This is a product that I personally used before I even decided to partner with them. And the first thing I got introduced to was the energy drinks by C4. This right here is a fruit punch flavor. They have many other flavors. They have popsicle flavors that just dropped. They have Skittles, Starburst, all the type of flavors that you want. To help you get started with your day, you can wake up in the morning before you start your day and drink you one of those. And also before you get that workout in, when it's workout day, you can take you some pre-workout to help you get the boost in your workout. All the products, 0 sugar, low calories. This is a great product to take you in your workouts and your journey on fitness to the next level. And I am happy to partner with a product that I was already using in my own personal life. And I will leave my code in the description below to save you guys 20% on your first purchase of C4 of their workouts. They even have muscle recovery to help boost after workouts. They have so many supplements and things to help you on your fitness journey. And you can get yours today in the description below. Click the link and use my code APW Sports to help you save 20%. And again, the links are in the description below, and use the code APW Sports to save you 20% on your purchase. Now, it is time to get back into the video. Week 8, we are going back to Washington, and we're back to facing the Commanders. The first 2 overall picks, we have Caleb Williams versus Jaden Daniels. This is going to be a very interesting game. Now, we know last year, this is where the Bears ended their 14-game losing streak on Thursday night. Could it be a possibility where the Bears win in Washington again? Washington has improved as a football team. So have the Bears. And the Bears scored 40 on the Commanders last year with Montez Sweat. And he was actually on the field for the Commanders during that football game. And now we have him on the field for us during this football game. So it's interesting to see where they're going to be. And then we're back-to-back on the road, another game away from Soldier Field versus the Arizona Cardinals, who drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. from The Ohio State University. It's interesting to see where this Cardinals team is going to be at week 9 and where the Bears are going to be at week 9. Kyler Murray, who I compare Caleb Williams to, not as far as talent always, but the style of play of which Caleb Williams showed in college reminds me a bit of Kyler Murray, even though Kyler Murray is a little bit more accurate, a little bit more athletic, and I think Caleb Williams has better arm than Kyler Murray. I still think those two quarterbacks kind of resemble each other as far as style of play. And as Cardinals team, I can only see them getting better than what they were in 2023. And next, we're going to have week 10 against the New England Patriots, another back-to-back matchup of top 3 quarterbacks where you have Williams going up against Drake May. And this Patriots team is still in a state of rebuilding, kind of like the Cardinals are still in a state of rebuilding. And This Patriots team is going to be without Bill Belichick for the first time in like 24, 25 years. So we're going to see how Jared Mayo, the new head coach, has this football team by week 10. And the Patriots, to me, are still not a very good football team, but it's not a game that you need to sleep on. Next, and this is where the Bears begin their divisional games. They don't have a divisional game until this week 11 against those damn Green Bay Packers. We have Caleb Williams going up against Jordan Love in his first divisional game, his first game against those damn Green Bay Packers, and it is at home. And it is at home, and I'm kind of surprised at this, that the Bears don't have the Packers higher or earlier in the year, because we've seen over the past couple of years, as far as Bears scheduling, they usually have the Packers in like maybe the first 2 to 3 weeks of the year, but for them to get them late, I think the Bears and both teams are going to be in a little bit of their stride. The Packers are coming off a playoff appearance where they blew out the Cowboys, and it's interesting to see where both teams are going to be by this week of the year. Let's beat those damn Green Bay Packers, Caleb Williams. Let's do it. And then we have back-to-back division home games, our third home game in a row. We are taking on the Minnesota Vikings and another matchup between rookie quarterbacks, possibly with J.J. McCarthy with the Vikings, who went to that damn team up north of Michigan, versus Caleb Williams. I don't know if I'm assuming J.J. McCarthy has a job by then, because me personally, I predict Sam Darnold may end up starting the season for the Vikings. That's just my personal opinion. 3 straight home games, back-to-back division games, and then we follow up this division game with a division game on the road on Thanksgiving. The Bears are back on Thanksgiving football, back against the Detroit Lions. Last year, we didn't have the Thanksgiving game. This year, back on Thanksgiving. And can they recover from the blunder that they had last year in Detroit, where they blew the lead in 5 minutes in the fourth quarter? Another primetime game. Can the Bears suffer up? Can the Bears get that win in Detroit that they didn't get last year? And week after that, back-to-back road contest, and they are taking on the defending NFC champion San Francisco 49ers. I think this is probably going to be the toughest game on the Bears schedule, because the 49ers are still basically intact as a football team, and how great of the Bears defense played. They have a lot of weapons to deal with the 49ers offense. So this is going to be a very tough game, and it's on the road in Santa Clara. Very tough football game. And then following that, the Bears have their third straight road game. So we go from 3 straight home games to 3 straight road games. And this one is on Monday Night Football against the Minnesota Vikings, who the Bears beat on Monday Night Football last year. So we get them again on Monday Night Football in Minnesota. Another J.J. McCarthy, Caleb Williams, the second matchup of their careers going against each other. And this one's going to be a tough one. Next, we have the Detroit Lions, another divisional game. So as we see the pattern, the Bears don't have a divisional game until week 11. And outside of the 49ers and the game that's on this next schedule, they have all their finishing games against the NFC North. The Lions are a very tough football team, a team that just made it to the NFC Championship game. Even though the Bears could have beat them in both occasions, they did get the split. But with this team and how they could be by week 16, I'm interested to see how that game is going to be. And week 17, Shane Waldron faces his old nemesis, his old team, and the Seattle Seahawks at home, and this will be the final home game at Soldier Field for the regular season, assuming the Bears make the playoffs. But we're gonna go up against the Geno Smith, Jackson Smith-Njigba from The Ohio State University. That wide receiver core is going to be a very tough wide receiving core to deal with. And the Bears have the Seahawks at home. We don't have to deal with that crowd noise that is the Seahawks home stadium. I cannot remember the name of it to save my life. I think it's Lumen Field, if I'm not mistaken. This is going to be, I think, one of the very critical games on this schedule because of where the Bears could possibly be at this point. And that leads me into the last game of the year on the road, yes, again, to take on those damn Green Bay Packers, which we couldn't close the deal last year in the last regular season game and knock the Packers out of the playoffs. And we have them again on the road this time around. This season is going to be very critical for all points, but I will get into that in later videos. But that is just my breakdown and my thoughts on the entirety of the Bears schedule, which we don't have a division game until week 11, which is kind of surprising. We finish off the last 6 games against the division. We had Packers, Vikings, and Lions spread out in all 6 of those. And the only breaks that we get is the Seahawks and the 49ers in that time span. We have 3 straight road games when it comes to week 13, 14, and 15. We have 3 straight home games when it comes to week 10, 11, and 12. They go on another long away from Soldier Field trip with week 6 being at London, even though we're scheduled to be the home team. Week 7 is the bye. Week 8, Commanders. 8, 9, the Cardinals. So the Bears have some stretches where they're away from Soldier Field for longer periods of time. Then we have stretches where we're home. So it's a bit of a, I want to say, longer of a roller coaster ride, but I cannot wait till it happens. But that's my thoughts on the Chicago Bears 2024 regular season schedule. You leave your guys' thoughts and comments down below. And if you want to do a record prediction, leave that in the comments down below. And I will see you guys on the next one. That concludes this episode. Peace.